You've watched Jackie Christie be loud, fearless, and in total control on Basketball Wives. But what if we told you that her own daughter paints a completely opposite picture? Takari Lee's explosive memoir reveals a heartbreaking story of childhood neglect and sheds light on the woman Jackie really is behind the glitz and cameras. This goes way deeper than just your average reality TV scandal. You won't believe the long-hidden secrets finally being exposed. We've all seen Jackie Christie portray the tough, no-nonsense matriarch on Basketball Wives unapologetically. Bold, constantly at the center of chaos, and the kind of woman who instantly takes over any room she enters. But what if all that confidence and flair is masking something much darker? Because while Jackie has crafted a public image as the outspoken queen of reality television, her daughter Takari Lee tells a very different and painful story in her raw, emotional memoir Lights to Her Shadow. In it, Takari strips away the glamorous exterior and lets us see the truth behind her mother's image, sharing the scars of being the forgotten child, the one left in the background, overlooked, and allegedly unloved. These aren't mild accusations either. From growing up in poverty while Jackie flaunted luxury on television, to claims of emotional neglect, favoritism, and even colorism, Takari doesn't hold anything back. In today's video, we're digging into who Takari Lee is and uncovering why her voice was hidden for so long. We'll explore the powerful claims she makes about Jackie's treatment of her, the way their family conflict unfolded on national TV, and the alleged favoritism toward Jackie's other daughter. It's no wonder fans are now questioning everything they thought they knew about Jackie Christie. You'll be stunned by just how deep this story goes, and why so many people are now asking the difficult question: did Jackie Christie choose fame over her first daughter? This is where the truth cuts deep. Stick around, because the receipts are coming and the emotional truth behind this reality star's family will leave you absolutely speechless. While longtime Basketball Wives viewers are well acquainted with Jackie Christie's public persona, her marriage to NBA vet Doug Christie, her over-the-top drama, and fiery attitude, many were stunned to learn that she has another daughter, one who is rarely, if ever, shown on screen. That daughter is Takari Lee. Takari is Jackie's firstborn, the child she had long before the cameras, the fame, the designer labels, and red carpet events. But if you've only followed Jackie through Basketball Wives, you'd barely even know Takari exists. Takari Lee was raised in a world completely opposite to the luxury lifestyle Jackie showcased on VH1, while Jackie flaunted a seemingly perfect life with Doug and their daughter Chantal. Takari claims she was struggling financially, emotionally, and yearning for a real connection with the mother she says never truly showed up for her. Takari was born from Jackie's previous relationship, and she says that fact changed everything. In Lights to Her Shadow, Takari offers a brutally honest look into a childhood marked by emotional neglect, financial instability, and the heavy emotional weight of constantly feeling like she came second. But who really is Takari Lee? She's not just a daughter with a story, she's a mother herself. A woman who has battled depression and someone who, despite her trauma, found the strength to share her truth. Writing the book wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming her voice after years of being silenced and hidden. Takari didn't just take to Instagram or throw out accusations, she wrote an entire book. A bold, vulnerable, and painful step toward healing. In interviews, Takari has made it clear that she never intended to tear Jackie's career down. Her goal wasn't clout or money, it was simply to make her story matter, to be heard, to finally feel seen. It's about healing, she once said in a podcast. From a childhood where I felt invisible even while my mother was famous on national TV. Now, here's the part that truly caught fans off guard. Takari claimed that Jackie never once tried to bring her into the glamorous public world she was living in with Chantal. No invitations to red carpets, no appearances, no shared family moments on Basketball Wives. It was almost as though Takari didn't just disappear from the public eye, she felt invisible, even to her own mother. And when viewers finally did hear about Takari, it wasn't in a loving context. It was through arguments, through tension, through reality TV drama, which raises a difficult question. Why was Takari kept out? Was Jackie trying to shield her, or was she actively trying to keep her hidden? That's the tough reality we're diving into next. One of the most gut-wrenching parts of Takari Lee's story isn't just the lack of affection, it's the emotional gap she describes within her own family. And at the center of that emotional divide? Her younger sister, Chantal, from the outside looking in, Jackie Christie always seemed like the devoted mother, especially when it came to Chantal, the daughter she shares with Doug Christie. Viewers often saw scenes of Jackie doting on Chantal, helping her dream big, celebrating life's moments, and building what looked like a perfect, loving mother-daughter relationship. But behind the scenes, Takari says she watched it all from a place of pain and not just because of physical distance. Takari claims there was always a noticeable contrast in how Jackie treated her compared to Chantal. And it wasn't just favoritism, it felt deeper, colder, more permanent. That's where the difficult issue of colorism enters the conversation. In Lights to Her Shadow, her memoir, Takari bravely discusses a reality many Black families quietly face, the way treatment can shift depending on skin tone. Takari, who's visibly darker skinned than Chantal, says she always felt her mother protected and favored Chantal in ways she never experienced. While Chantal was embraced, celebrated, and cherished, Takari says she was left out, judged, and often ignored. "I wasn't the light-skinned daughter with the pretty hair," Takari once revealed on a heart-wrenching podcast. "I was the one who got labeled the troubled child, the angry one, even though all I ever wanted was to be loved." The conversation around colorism is far from new in the Black community. But when it plays out within a famous family, when in the spotlight of national television, it hits even harder. Long before Takari's book came out, fans had already begun noticing her absence. Online whispers grew louder. Does Jackie have another daughter? Why doesn't she ever talk about her? Why is Chantal constantly praised, but Takari never even mentioned? And when Jackie finally spoke up, she denied any wrongdoing. She said Takari was lying, that she was bitter, that she just wanted attention. But let's be honest, when a daughter goes so far as to pen a full-length memoir outlining her pain in detail, it becomes tough to write it off as bitterness alone. Takari didn't just air her frustrations on social media. She poured her story onto the page. She revisited the wounds. She structured the pain into chapters. And then she shared it with the world, not to ruin her mother, but to offer support to other women who know what it feels like to grow up as the outsider in their own family. And this rift didn't just impact her relationship with Jackie, it also placed a heavy strain on her connection with Chantal. Takari has said in interviews that she doesn't harbor hatred toward her sister. In fact, she made several efforts over the years to build a bond with Chantal. But the constant feeling of being treated as less than made it incredibly difficult to form a genuine, open relationship. One of the most heartbreaking sections of her memoir is when Takari describes watching Chantal receive endless praise and luxurious gifts, while she herself struggled just to get her mother to return a single phone call. "I didn't want what she had in terms of material things," Takari wrote. "I just wanted the love that came with it." But sadly, the divide wasn't only emotional, it eventually became very public. During one explosive season of Basketball Wives, when Jackie's parenting came under fire from fellow cast members, Takari's name was brought into the conversation. And instead of taking the opportunity to defend her daughter or attempt to repair their broken bond, Jackie lashed out, going. As far as questioning Takari's character, once again, the blame was shifted. That moment pushed many fans to dig deeper into Takari's memoir. What they uncovered was a lifetime filled with neglect, misunderstanding, and a painful sense of being dismissed. The tragedy here isn't just that Jackie and Takari have a fractured relationship, it's that years of generational pain, silence, and unresolved trauma have created wounds that may never fully mend. Especially when painful issues like favoritism, colorism, and emotional neglect remain unspoken and unresolved. But the story didn't end there. In every parent-child relationship, there eventually comes a moment when unconditional love is truly tested. A moment when, regardless of personal grievances, a parent is expected to step in, no questions asked. For Takari Lee, that pivotal moment came during an unimaginable tragedy. And for her, the outcome was unforgettable and unforgivable. Takari's young son, Jordan, suffered a devastating injury. A horrific accident where the infant was severely burned after falling onto a heater in their home. It was a nightmare no mother should ever have to endure. In the chaotic, heart-wrenching moments that followed, Takari did what any daughter would. She reached out to the one person she believed should always be there for her, her mother, Jackie Christie. But according to Takari, the response she received wasn't one of concern or compassion. Instead, she says Jackie met her pleas with cold distance. No urgency, no comfort, just the sense that she was left to handle it all on her own. In Lights to Her Shadow, Takari shares the agonizing details how she reached out for emotional support and financial assistance to help cover Jordan's medical bills, only to feel ignored, brushed aside, and emotionally abandoned. Takari described the experience as feeling like she was pleading for her mother to care about the life of her own grandson Jackie's own flesh and blood. It was like watching someone drown, she wrote, and the one person holding the life jacket refuses to throw it. Jackie, on the other hand, has told a very different version of what happened. When the situation was brought up in episodes of Basketball Wives, Jackie firmly denied the accusations and presented her own side of the story. It all began back in Season 6 of Basketball Wives, when Evelyn brought up Takari's story during a heartfelt moment. She shared just how much Ari's experience had impacted her, especially as a mother. Evelyn explained that reading about Ari's pain and feeling of abandonment by her own mother struck a deep, emotional chord she simply couldn't ignore. But Evelyn didn't just express sympathy, she took action. She offered Takari $3,500 to help with her son's medical bills, something Jackie Christie had reportedly refused to do herself. That one gesture, though small in appearance, was the spark that ignited a wildfire. Jackie was furious. She accused Evelyn of butting into a family matter she didn't truly understand. In her confessional interviews, Jackie branded Evelyn a meddler, a phony, and even suggested she was only doing it all for television drama and attention. But for viewers watching at home, Jackie's anger didn't land the way she intended. Instead, most applauded Evelyn for stepping in and offering something real, something kind for a woman who had clearly been quietly suffering. "Jackie, you're mad another woman did what you should have done," one fan tweeted, echoing the general mood across social media. Before long, the Basketball Wives audience had split down the middle. It was Team Jackie versus Team Evelyn. And the division wasn't just digital, it ran deep within the cast itself. Jackie started lashing out at anyone who even hinted at siding with Evelyn or Takari. In one unforgettable scene, Jackie came dangerously close to losing control during a dinner, shouting across the table, throwing shade, and even threatening to physically confront Evelyn. "You don't know my daughter. You don't know me," Jackie yelled, visibly trembling with rage. But Evelyn held her ground, calm and composed. "I didn't need to know your daughter to recognize her pain," Evelyn replied firmly. "And I didn't need to know you to see that you weren't doing enough." That moment, caught on camera, went viral instantly. GIFs, clips, and memes took over Twitter and Instagram. Major gossip outlets like The Shade Room, Gossip on This, and Hollywood Unlocked picked up the feud and ran with it. Meanwhile, Takari Lee mostly stayed away from TV appearances, but she was vocal on her blog and social platforms where she thanked Evelyn for her support and continued to reveal painful truths. She claimed her mother had long acted like the perfect TV mom, while in private, she was left to fend for herself and suffer in silence. Other Basketball Wives cast members like Tammy Ramong and Malaysia Pargo tried to remain publicly neutral, but their behind-the-scenes comments told a different story. In a private interview, Tommy said, "I don't know what the full truth is, but if my child ever said they felt that way, I'd do everything in my power to make it right. That's all I'll say." As the season moved forward, the tension only escalated. Jackie started to spiral on camera, crying during some scenes, yelling during others, and eventually avoiding group events just to steer clear of the confrontations. Many fans believe that the backlash from this storyline permanently altered Jackie's image on the show. But the real fallout wasn't just between Evelyn and Jackie, it was about Jackie's role and reputation as a mother. No matter how much she tried to deny it, redirect it, or minimize the damage, the reality was clear. The impact had already been made. For a lot of fans, Takari's emotional truth was just too raw to dismiss. The entire ordeal became one of the most explosive and talked about feuds in Basketball Wives history, not just for the drama, but because it peeled back the layers of reality TV and exposed real-life hurt. And here's the heartbreaking part. The more Jackie tried to explain herself, the worse it looked. The more Evelyn stayed calm and allowed Takari's story to speak for itself, the more people supported her. This wasn't just good television, it became a cultural flashpoint, one that raised serious questions about motherhood, fame, and what It truly means to stand by your children. By the time season 6 wrapped, Jackie's reputation as the wild, outrageous, and unpredictable cast member had shifted dramatically. Fans now viewed her as someone living with deep family wounds she refused to face with honesty.